Good morning, everyone. Today is August 15th, 2019. It feels like it's 60, but feels like 61 here in North Idaho. And I'm Jody. Welcome to Moose Flats Farm. When I went to do the sauerkraut video, wound up with this really weird monotone hum in the background, so I had to delete that audio. Well, I went and did a monologue over it, and then going through the editing process, there was a weird squeal in the background of that one, and everything just started going funky. So I deleted all that. I'm gonna do a little monologue over it. It's not as long as it was, which is probably a good thing. Kind of boring and repetitive, but I hope you enjoy, or at least glean something from my first attempt at making sauerkraut. So let's get to making some sauerkraut. So the recipe I'm following is from the Farmer's Almanac. I will link that in the description. It calls for chopped up cabbage, sprinkling of salt. Doesn't give you a description of how much is a sprinkling of salt, so I'm just guessing. I have coarsely chopped up about 2 heads of cabbage right here, and doing the layer of cabbage, the sprinkling of salt, smashing down with a wooden spoon. They recommend that you do a wooden spoon and not use anything metal. This jar right here is one that I filled earlier, so I'm going to add a little more cabbage and salt to it. And I did wind up with about 2 gallons of sauerkraut makings. Oh, and I'm hoping I figured out the cause of the hum, that I needed to replace the battery in the microphone. We'll see what this takes. So I'm gonna finish pulling out the cabbage, wearing gloves because I did find hobos in there, and get these 2 rows and the partial where the cabbage is, get some seeds in the ground. Show you what I'm going to plant here in a couple minutes. You ever have one of those just weird days? Bella did something and gave herself a gash on her back. It doesn't look uber bad now that I've treated it, but when we first saw it, it looked really horrible. And I think it's because a couple of her toenails, because she chews them, is super sharp. And we have 2 pairs of dog toenail clippers. And do you think we can find either one? We've been through everything like 5 times, driving us to distraction. Hence the reason I wait till the sun's out over here to plant the seeds. grumpy. Okay, so I'm gonna do some spinach, romaine lettuce, just a Grand Rapids, looks like just a leaf lettuce, and then try Chinese cabbage again. And I did in the greenhouse plant some yellow squash and head lettuce, and in the barrel where the big squashes were, planted more yellow squash and radishes, and yes, I labeled everything. So get done here, I'll take you over there and show you what I got, other than looks just like bare dirt right now, but here in about a week should have stuff popping up. And I found this little cedar. Definitely made planting the lettuce in the greenhouse so much easier. So I'm gonna try it out here. And then I left the gate open for 2 seconds to bring the hose in, and I have a chicken in here. Now I gotta get her out. And I gave the ducks and the Muscovies and Valkyrie a longer run. It goes about halfway up the garden to eat that taller grass. I'll let you guys watch the babies for a minute while I throw that cabbage away. And one of the best things about the Muscovies is they know I give them food and water. So I'll come up in the morning and they all come running and gather around me. I can barely walk because they're all right under my feet, as opposed to my mallards that run the other direction. They're starting to get really big. And even though this duck fence completely cuts that avenue off for the chickens, they are able to come through there, go over or under the turkey fence. It's about 6 inches up off the ground, so I don't feel too sad for them. But as you can see, I've got labels. Did yellow squash in the center and then radishes around the outside. The radishes should be ready to be picked before the yellow squash gets too big. So in this one I planted a couple yellow squash in the back and then head lettuce in the front. Did a squash here and one in that corner, and they're all labeled. And not my favorite way to label, but it works for now until I get around to being crafty and making something else a little better. Give you a little update on the turkeys. And there's Turbo, she's doing good. And there's Chicken Bach. Don't know what's going on over there. And there's Mike. Tried to pick him up the other day. Yeah, he's getting really big. Couldn't even lift him. And there's one of the little silkies out hanging out with Mike. Let's go see what's going on in the duck pen. Well, not seeing anything weird. They're just being weird. Or maybe one of the little tan and white Muscovies was in there chasing them. Likes to do that. And there's a chicken in here. Of course, I didn't have the camera on. And that little guy just pecked the chicken. She flew in, now can't figure out how to get out. See if I can get her out without getting her into the garden. I just want to show you to the camera and put a leg band on you. And this one is actually the little one, the last one that was hatched by my black chickens and my black Americana. So I know she's a keeper, so I'm gonna go put a leg band on her and then release her. But the 2018 hen is going to be the purple band. The hens from this year will have to catch and put a different color on. And I have two different sizes. I've got the medium and the small bands. I'm going to have to buy large for those Muscovies when they get old enough that I can sex them out. Because they're, even right now, they're legs are fatter around than my thumb. So now with that leg band on, I can tell her apart from her aunts. And last video I kept referring to that guy or that guy as Blue Swiss Muscovy mix. They're Black Swiss. When David, John, and I first got into ducks, we had Blue Swiss and Black Palms, so my brain was programmed to be saying Black Swiss. So I'm going to end today's video here checking on the sauerkraut. So far it hasn't developed any scum on it, but it doesn't smell bad. It smells like salt and cabbage. I'm going to be adding a little more liquid over the top of it, and when I do push down on it with the wooden spoon, it does bubble like it is fermenting, so fingers crossed that it's going to work. I hope you all have a good day and a good week. Don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button, and I'll see you on Sunday's video. Bye.